Hi there, guys and girls and everybody. This is Vinney Chopra again. Every week you come to my podcast. I hope you're liking the content. As you know, I'm the international best-selling author of Apartment Syndication Made Easy, and also The Positivity Brings Profitability. The two books. The third book is coming out, Senior Living Investing Made Easy, pretty soon. And this podcast, actually, I like to bring the best of the best personalities I've been associating with and the specialists to bring great contents that you could use, you can utilize and really make a big day. And hopefully you like this episode so much that you forward it to other friends. Please subscribe to our channel. Our goal is 200,000 downloads. So we are almost halfway there and trying to get to the high level. So please do give 5-star ratings, because if you do that, we get higher up in the iTunes and so forth like that. And of course, you can invest with Vinney Chopra, learn from Vinney Chopra, all those good things. But we got a great guest today here with me in the studio. Derek Clifford is in the house. Hi, Derek. How are you, brother?
Hey, Vinney. Hello, audience. How is everyone doing today?
During the day, I'm pretty focused and very excited about tomorrow. But let me introduce you, Derek, formally. Derek actually used to live nearby us, right here in Discovery Bay, and his lovely wife, Sophia. Sophie. Yes. We met at the meetup group with Bo Eckstein, my good friend, and then we kept in touch and all. And now they are very successful entrepreneurs, and they are traveling the country, the world, and also crushing it. So it's going to be exciting. Derek Clifford is a successful real estate investor of single and multifamily properties, acquiring 13 units out of state while in his first year of acquisitions, while working a full-time job. He also is the founder and CEO of the Elevate Equity. Just a beautiful logo and everything, just the whole name, the website, the brochures. I've seen all that. Derek, you are amazing, guys. So if you need to talk to him, please reach out to him. He's very helpful, very, very helpful. A firm that partners with individuals and companies to purchase, improve, and operate cash flowing multifamily apartments. Real estate. Derek has written and published his first book, guys. Please go on Amazon and buy that book. It's a great book. I've read it. Part-time real estate investing for full-time professionals. And actually, Derek, I'm going to ask him in the interview, he shared in the mastermind how he wrote the book in 1 month. I mean, it took me 2 years to write mine. But Derek did it in 1 month, and he's got a complete system how to do it. He shared with us. He just crushed it. And he also loves to give back, his knowledge, and has passion for breaking down complex investing concepts into easy to explain topics. I know his podcast is amazing. I love to hear it myself because he just explains things so nicely and easily. So please follow, his podcast too. He's helped many people start, maintain, and grow their portfolios to achieve their own financial independence. In his spare time, Derek enjoys relaxing with his wife, biking, hiking, and then of course, reading, household construction projects, and spending time with his wife.
Absolutely.
Brother, welcome.
It is so great to be here. And, such a gracious introduction. Thank you so much. I think one thing that I want to impart upon you and also the listeners is that I would not be here without Vinney and his mastermind group. So please, everyone out there who has any inkling of wanting to try multifamily, understand more about what it's about, Vinney gives you all of the tools, and without him, I wouldn't be here. So Vinney, thank you once again.
No, I think it's your actions, taking the material and the ideas and to put them into action. I think that's what I find my superstars and your superstar and other people, it's them. I mean, I just give very small thing in their success. No, thank you. But tell us, again, what were you doing and how did you make the transition? And now you left W2. Oh my gosh. So tell
Yes.
us, I know a lot of audience would like to know,
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll make it as short as I can, but also as impactful and maybe action oriented for those folks out there who are wanting to maybe do the same thing, which is, eventually leave their full-time job to do what it is that they love to do. For me, my passion, I found it in real estate investing, and we found it by default. It was a really long story, but essentially my wife ended up buying a condo, and it was underwater for many, many years because she bought it a month right before the financial crisis happened in 2008. And so we were forced to hold on to it while she had a residency down in California. And so as we were making the drive down, we were collecting cash flow from the tenants, and we were wondering, boy, if this happened to us on accident, man, imagine what would happen if we actually did it on purpose. So we ended up really focusing on that and learning everything we can. And Vinney was a huge part of that. But in our first year, I was working a full-time job at a company in the Bay Area in California. And I took the vision of taking what it is that we were doing in Washington and just multiplying that out, doing that as many places as we could. So listening to a whole bunch of audiobooks, dedicating 1 hour a day, guys. 1 hour a day is super important, at least if you have a full-time job, and making yourself do it. So if you're one of those who actually goes into the office, I know that might be a rare thing these days, but if you're someone that goes into the office or even walks to a different room in your house, walk in or go into the office 1 hour early and just focus on real estate investing. You don't even have to have a plan, because you'll find a plan in that 1 hour. So just the key is consistency, getting there and doing it and devoting it every single day. It's that consistency and action, okay, that's going to make it happen. Anyways, using that technique, taking that 1 hour of time every single day, and sometimes making it 2 for even lunchtime, right? We were able to slowly build up a network of folks and individuals, and we built up a nice little rental portfolio in Indianapolis. And we started with a whole bunch of single families and just kept maintaining the portfolio. So consistent effort. And so there's no silver bullet here. It takes consistent effort, consistent work. But within a 5 to 10 year time frame, if you're dedicated enough and you really want to put in the work and make it happen, then you'll be able to get to a point where I am, which is eventually building up enough equity, getting enough partners, knowing enough people in the network and in the real estate space to be able to attract capital and wisdom and deals and everything to you. And then you just connect it together and make it all happen. So this experience, trust me, it stacks on top of each other. And the most important thing is that block of 1 hour time working your full-time job to make that vision a reality, because you'll have the vision, but now you need the legs, and the legs is that 1 hour block of time, and just keep doing it over and over again will eventually get you to a place where you'll have so many skills, Vinney, and the audience will have so many skills outside of your W-2 that eventually you'll start understanding the potential of this, and then you'll make preparations while you're doing your investing to eventually build your runway up, so that eventually you can leave your full-time job and do what you want to do full-time. And so that's long story short.
Off. You got to build the runway to take off.
That's absolutely right.
I love that, Derek. And thank you for saying that. A lot of people call me. They say, Vinney, I want to be successful. But then their plane doesn't get on the landing, and all that. So consistency. Appreciate you saying that. Every day, you got to push yourself to do those things, get out of the comfort zone, but then the comfort zone becomes better because you see that you are moving in the right direction of the goal. Thank you for saying that. And 1 hour, it's bite by bite by bite, Many times people say, I want to spend 4 hours a day. How could you do it? I mean, you got family time, you got other times, you got, your spouse, you got work, you got all those things. So 1 hour, I appreciate that. 1 hour a day keeps your doctor away. No, get your syndication hat on,
That's right.
And syndication also, please don't think that it's a gorilla. It's not. Syndication is merely a term getting your like-minded people, friends, to join hands, bring their money together for equity. The bank comes with the debt and you bring the property. There we go. It's a happy union of 3 different branches and that's, syndication. But joint partnerships are amazing too, right?
They work out very well, especially for those who are starting. And even if, because my approach, Vinney, was, boy, I'm gonna be raising money from people,
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna be putting it into apartment buildings. I felt that it was my duty to myself to invest in apartments first with my own money, with my own individual capital. Not to say that, when you invest in syndications, you should absolutely, as a lead, be investing alongside your investors. I'm not saying that as well. But I'm saying that whenever you get started with something, it's better to try it out, or at least do something yourself first, or work with an expert like Vinney or one of Vinney's students. Work with them first, see how they do things, right? Like get your feet wet and see how a successful syndication is run, even by being a limited partner with someone like Vinney, or some of others, Vinney's guests and other students. And I think that that's going to be the real way to long-term success, to see what the vision looks like, to see what actually works practically.
So true. So very true, Derek. Here, that's $1 million, answer, because many times fear comes in, and you don't want to step on the mines, I call it, and get blown up. We talked about 500,000 to million to $1.5 million deals, that's a lot of money. So it's better to really understand the business, the basics, and get somebody to guide you. And there are a lot of great 100%. Operators in USA, and I'm so happy when I see LinkedIn and Facebook. I like to congratulate, when people are closing deals, even though I don't know them, I want to congratulate them, because it's hard work that has brought them to that first apartment they bought, if it's 12 units or 10 units or 100 units or 400 units, things like that. No, definitely. So take me back. What were some pain points, as you started? I know it's not easy. See, a lot of people think it's overnight success. It's not, And so what did you have to do? What can you tell some investors who want to, follow your path?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Vinney. And I actually get asked this quite a bit. I think that the consistency thing is really the key. That's generally one of the things that you just have to do. And so I think where a lot of people fall off, and where I was falling off, and why it took me a little bit longer to get this, is that I was not following my own advice. I wasn't being consistent in the beginning. So what ended up happening is I was like, I'll do an hour here, I'll do an hour there, right? And that type of thing. And when you treat a business like that, what type of result do you think you're going to get when you're just kind of like, I'll do this there, maybe that there? You're not going to get a great result. So I think the dedication to time blocking out and actually putting a lot of reminders on your phone, putting it on your calendar, like making it as intentional as you can, is going to be the number one thing. And I think another pitfall that I had when I was learning to invest is not having a strong enough network, or at least not thinking that I had a strong network and not doing the due diligence on them, not checking with other investors and being more social and being more networking about like how well this property manager would perform, or whether or not this area makes sense. And so I ended up just my first investment, which is my worst one, actually. That's just the way that it goes, right? But the good news is that it was still doing so well when I first had it that I kept the momentum going, and it kept going. So that's the other advice that I would have is make sure that you're networking with people who are trying to do what you're doing. Maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead of you is really good, is appropriate, because then they'll be able to teach you something or be able to save you a whole bunch of hours. So don't make the mistakes that I did and going out there and learning the hard way. That's one thing. So just get out there and talk about it. The other thing that I would recommend to Vinney, and that's really important, is vision. Absolutely. You've got to get on vision. And if you have a spouse involved, that's super, super important, because without having a common vision between what you and your wife do, or you and your spouse wants to do, right? Whether it's, you have a husband or a wife, because having that vision means that you've got a confidant, you've got someone behind you and with you to help push you to your goals, right? They're going to help you say, well, what happened to that hour that you were going to spend? Or what have you done with that hour, right? Like those simple conversations will help elevate your game, right? And in the case that, let's say that you end up becoming very successful in real estate investing on your own without having the buy off of your spouse, right? Let's say you end up with this windfall, right? So two scenarios. One is things go really good, things go really bad. And if
Yes.
things go really good and you
Uh-huh.
have all of this windfall of money, right? And your wife sees all this money coming in
Yeah.
and you have the idea to go back and reinvest it, how do you think she's going to feel? Where is there going to be an end to this? Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing this for? Like, what's the point? And then if things go bad, right, the other alternative is, well, obviously that's not going to be good too if she's not on the same page or he's not on the same page as you. So I think getting that common vision for you together and you individually is super, super important, because it's that vision that's going to drag you through or push you through those time blocks every day, sitting down 1 hour every single day. This is why I'm doing it. This is the vision. This is what we want to achieve in 5 to 10 years. This is why we're putting in the work. And so I think those are common pitfalls that I learned the hard way from one way or another. So hopefully that helps, Vinney.
It does. It does. Definitely. Definitely. You know, I'm kind of thinking back myself when I started 14 years, 15 years back, I was alone, right? And actually, my wife didn't believe I was in school, and my daughter definitely didn't believe. Both are in the business now. And God, you know, I think the biggest thing was coaching. I say that all the time. You know,
Yeah.
my mentor, my coach taught so much that, you know, we were able to get out of the comfort zone, and the fear of that first deal is so prominent. You know, you don't want to take somebody's money and drop it, right? And you know, something bad happened to that and so forth. So it's so important to really, like you said, get the spouse on, you know, along with, and then they will feel excited and everything, and they can even partake some of the
Yeah.
loan also, you know.
And support you. They'll either be
Support you.
active in the business or they will help create space for you. So if you have
Yeah.
kids at home, they'll be able to say, okay, I'll take care of the kids while you're doing your real estate thing for an hour each day. That is a true partnership, right? Because even though they're not directly supporting you, they're
Yeah.
supporting you. And Vinney, I love what you said about a mentor. Without you, without the help of other investors who have already been, you know, down the road that I've been, there's no way that I'd be able to achieve what I would be able to achieve. And one more thing I wanted to add to, for those listeners out there, I want you to be really conscious of your subconscious.
Yeah.
When you have a fear or when you have an excuse to say, well, I'm not going to do this because, you know, it's not feasible, or like, I don't want to spend I don't want to ruin other people's money. That one little thought will delay your progress for many months until you revisit that thought again. So being aware of where your subconscious is saying, and these fears, all these things, that's what a coach will do. A coach will say, no, that's not a fear. Here's how you solve it. So now what are you going to do? Right. And puts the onus back on you to work, to do what you do, to help create that forward momentum that's going to eventually get you some passive income, get you some active income in real estate, and help get you build up your side business. So please be aware of your subconscious, your tendencies to want to skirt around a situation and say, oh, I justify that you're not going to be able to do it. And Vinney is a master at saying, nope, gonna do it. There's so much positivity. You literally wrote the book on it, Vinney. The positivity will overcome all of those fears. And that's why Vinney's been able to accomplish so dang much. So
no, thank you, Derek. You know, the key thing, you're so right what you're talking about, that mindset in between the years, you know, whatever we manifest, right? We know all these things that our subconscious keeps on recording everything like a movie reel, you know, camera, and it doesn't know good from the bad. So subconscious always keeps on recording, and those become our consciously. Also, the subconscious takes over. The key thing is to really master both of them, you know, conscious and subconscious, in the right light and vision, and, you know, and everything, because our mind is such that we just say that thing is not going to work. That is going to be the bad thing, because the history repeats, and we are always looking for tendency is that, you know, things may not work out. So again, very, very good point. What you said is, let's conquer the subconscious, but you've got to make sure that you are moving with a good game plan. See, I think what really hit me was, you said, okay, sometimes people don't want to collect money from friends. They have the fear they're going to be not successful. And then they say, you know what? I want to spend money to invest in, do it a 1 year cycle or something, get an 8-unit apartment or 7 or 10 or 15 unit. And then once I put it in there, then I can say, hey, I'm successful. Now you can bring money in. I have a different feeling about it. I feel like if we could invest along with the investors, you say, I have done a lot of homework. I've done the underwriting. I know the area. I've done everything I'm taught. And this property makes sense. And I like it so much that I'm going to invest along with you. Right? You know, so that's a good thing. And a lot of people will catch your vision and your bandwagon, you know, or so, and they can invest in it. So let me ask you a question. You know, what are you seeing right now? And where are you progressing for the next 2 years? Now you left W2 job, I heard, right?
Yeah. I wanted to give you a little bit more of a background on that, if you don't mind. So, you know, COVID-19 it's been a really interesting time. It's been it's been very painful for a lot of individuals. And so I really have a lot of sympathy for the folks that have gone through some difficulties that they've had with COVID-19.
Yes.
But for us, for Sophie and I, it has been an absolute blessing, because it has accelerated a whole bunch of our progress in the fact that we've been able to work from home a lot. And in doing that work from home situation, we started to evaluate what it is that we truly valued and what it is that we wanted. Because we tasted that first degree of freedom that I like to talk about. There's 3 degrees of freedom in what I talk about online and on my live streams. There's time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. And so we had locational freedom is the first one.
Yeah.
Okay. And as soon as we tasted that with the remote working, I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. The investments, the opportunities started coming because we're working more at home. So we didn't have the travel time. So I was able to boost my time blocks and spend more time with Vinney and other individuals who are doing this already. And essentially what happened was I got so much forward motion that my wife and I looked at each other and said, are we ready to do this? Is it time for us to start going into this full time?
Yeah.
And the real kicker was when we ended up selling our house in the Bay Area with all of this incredible appreciation from COVID-19, that just kickstarted our runway. Yeah. And then her business started taking off too, because everyone's now doing like Zoom more and more. Yeah. So it's just that locational freedom. Once we got a taste of that first degree of freedom, we wanted the second too. We wanted the time and the financial. And so what ended up happening is we looked at our situation, we both got aligned in our vision, and we said, you know what would be really cool? Why don't we just become digital nomads? Because we have location freedom, we're working online. So why don't we just travel to places? Because we don't have kids yet. So we're lucky in that regard right now. So why don't we just travel where we want to travel? So we ended up spending the whole next week or so figuring out where we wanted to go. And then right then at that moment, I put in my 3-month notice with my current employer. So I gave myself a runway, gave them a runway, and said, hey, I'm leaving. So I'm focusing more on real estate now. Gave them an opportunity to find someone to transition off to. And it was the high integrity route, because the low integrity route was I could have just waited for them to fire me, right? Yeah. And just, but I don't like to work that way. I could not sleep. I couldn't, live with myself doing that. So that's pretty much what happened, Vinney. We made a concerted decision, and it all started with the fact that we were both aligned in our vision. Because what if my wife was not on board with this real estate training? And I came to her and said, I want to leave my job. And she's like, what? What do you want to do? What? So that's why it's so important to both Sophie and I that we get aligned in the vision, and we're both gaining a degree of freedom with each individual move that we make. And we're moving towards having 3 degrees, which is all, complete financial freedom, complete time freedom, and complete locational freedom. So that's where we are right now.
I love that. Wow. So at this time, you are not in the Bay Area. You sold the home and you went south. Is that right now?
Yes. So we went from the Bay Area down to Palm Springs, spent 2 weeks there, then San Diego, then beautiful places, then Los Angeles, then we were in Yosemite, and then we were in Mammoth Lakes for a little while. Wow. Then, of course, Lake Tahoe.
Yeah.
then Reno and Salt Lake City and, Park City. And then we were just recently in Steamboat Springs for a GoBundance event.
Yeah, right,
That's
right. I
right.
want to talk about that too a little bit. I had in
Excellent.
my mind, I want to ask. I was a member of them too, and just great, great people
Individual.
all
Yeah.
the way. Tim and everybody, and
Incredible.
Pat Haven and
Yeah.
also
David Osborne.
David Osborne, all three on the top, and Mario, my good friend, and Bo. Mario didn't make it. You said this time maybe there was some conflict or something,
Mhm.
but no, that's great. So now you are in. So you are able to travel. And so I'm just trying to see. It looks like you're in your home. Literally.
Yeah.
Look at
So
that.
so we're actually because we have all this freedom, and I'm actually, my last day of work is technically tomorrow. So
Oh,
my wife and my mom and dad, they want to do something for me. So I'm here at my parents' house right now in Colorado Springs.
got you.
Yes. And so after this, we're headed to our target market of Indianapolis. We have a huge portfolio there. So we're going to spend about a good 5-6 weeks out there. And then we're going to head down to Austin, Texas, where we have other investments as well, and build our network up. So yes.
My gosh, I love it. I love it. As you know, we bought that Lakeside Renaissance Park, 308 units near to the Domain in Austin. Please go by.
Absolutely.
Send me some pictures and all. Yeah,
we certainly will. And we have a couple of deals. There's actually one that I'm looking at right now with one of my operating partners, and we're looking at potentially making an offer on this one and starting to raise capital for it. So we're really excited. Austin is just an
amazing,
incredible market.
Oh my gosh, I talked to the president of Houston Income Properties. He lives in Austin and Houston. He's 37 years in this business, multifamily. Jim Hurd is his name. I love him. And I just talked to him because he wants to give me some off-market deals, So I am looking for 200 units, by the way. Anybody listening to me, 200 to 400 units in and around Austin. I'm a game. Love to pay 50,000, 100,000 referral fee, whatever you'd like, and so forth, because we are really, really getting into Tennessee, into Florida, and also in Austin. Anyway,
absolutely, Vinney.
Blurb,
that's wonderful. Yeah, and absolutely. And Vinney, of course, if you need capital or if you need any resources, I definitely would be willing to help out anyway. So we'll talk about that later.
I love it. We'll do it. We'll do fund and
Perfect.
all that. And we can grow together. It'll be exciting. Totally.
Excellent.
So what kind of books and podcasts or things are you doing to really keep yourself sharp and motivated? And what drives you? Tell me that.
Yes, absolutely. So my driving force right now is helping 1,000 couples become financially independent, doing what I did, and helping them unlock the 3 degrees of freedom, right? I think that's the really, really important thing. So we're going to be writing a book. I think the title of it is going to be called Engineering Your W-2 Exit. And I think it's because I was an engineer. You were an engineer.
Please buy a website. Please buy a website domain and
absolutely.
Maybe copyright. I love this engineering. I'm an engineer. Your W2 exit. I love that.
Yes, of course. So we're working on that project. And what I'm doing right now to keep myself really sharp is obviously GoBundance has been huge. It's been absolutely amazing. So for those of you who are out there, that are maybe just getting started, GoBundance has an Emerge program or like a starters program. And there's also people like Vinney who has a lot of mindset gems inside of their material as well. It's a lot. And then you get to meet great people. And that's kind of where it all starts is keeping your saw sharp by surrounding yourself with incredible people. As far as resources go, I'm listening to a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk because his marketing is now my big thing to try to bring more capital to me. So definitely that one. So the book Crushing It is fantastic. Jab, right hook. And then also Think and Grow Rich and The Magic of Thinking Big.
Oh my gosh.
Fantastic
These
books.
are my 2 really, really powerful books by W.J. Schwartz, David Schwartz. I got that 44 years back, actually, Magic of Thinking Big, and of course, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Oh my gosh.
It's incredible. Yeah. And one more thing I wanted to add, Vinney. So my wife actually is what she's doing is she's rebranding herself to help serve entrepreneurs to help keep their saw sharp from a health standpoint. So she's offering now full range services, all testing for an entire year, 24/7 access, like a type of a concierge, but really like kind of a full like contact type of service.
Oh,
and
wow.
so I'm, a lot of keeping yourself mentally sharp comes from nutrition, exercise, and a lot of the things that are not so obvious.
Yeah.
And so we're really working on some of those things outside of the business to really keep ourselves motivated, energetic, and creative, because that is really where lots of entrepreneurs generate that value, is in the creativity.
So true. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Being a doctor, then she's able to give you 365 monitoring and looking at your, all the vitals, I guess, and also hold you accountable about your health and the eating and exercising and everything, so that you need that coach. It's so important.
Oh yeah.
I think in every aspect of our life, we do need somebody to really hold us accountable, because we are human. And we get into our same old rut. I get into it, So,
Vinney, I would say that for people out there who are listening, there's two things that you can tell it's the top priority for you. If it's time blocked on your calendar, and or if you have a coach in those specific fields. If you have those two things, then you can tell you're intentional about it. So that's why I'm so adamant about folks who are wanting to have this vision of, living these degrees of freedom like we are, is time block it and get a coach. That's how you know you're serious about it.
I love it. And also at the same token, what you just said is so true. I got committed when I quit that $30,000 check to my mentor, by the way, 14, 15 years back. I was committed.
Yes.
I wanted to show up at the right time, and I wanted to be prepared with the assignments that my coach, Ron Jung, I want to give him accolades, and just a wonderful person from Southern California. And he taught me and my team so much, and I owe so much to him, really. And the key thing is, once you have that money riding, your whole focus changes.
Yes.
When you get free stuff, you show up at the meeting or you don't show up. You do underwriting or you don't. You do script writing, you don't, because there is no vested interest. But once you put that $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, you are committed, and you are definitely going to find time, the blocks of time, like you said, and persistence, and it's the consistency. I think that's the number one thing. I think everybody I talk to, successful people like you, Derek, they're consistent, But let me ask you a question. I wanted to ask you, I know it's getting a little bit longer. Book, you wrote a book in 1 month. Holy cow. Please give our listeners some great motivation, how you did it, how they can go about it. This will be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely, Vinney. I'll give everyone the Reader's Digest version, no pun intended. But but for everyone out there, I'm talking again about subconscious thinking. You're probably thinking right now, I don't have enough to write a book. This doesn't apply to me. You're absolutely not correct at all. Everyone can write a book. A book can be anything between 70 to 100 pages. And all that is like 30 or 40 pages typed up on Google Sheets. Okay. Or Google Documents. So everyone has a story to tell. It's just up to you to figure out what story that is. So I think that's where it all starts, is making sure that you are confident, or you can overcome that barrier to write a book yourself. Okay. That's the very first thing. But generally the process, the mechanics, Vinney, of how it went, is I'm a very structured, organized person. So I really like to track things. That's what I do as my job as a project manager, where I used to work as of tomorrow, where I used to work. Is I would track things and make sure that things stay on target. And so the general process goes like this. First, when you look to start a book, there's a central idea that you want to touch your audience, or you want to convey to your audience, right? It could be a story about your life. It could be anything, but there has to be one central idea that you want to share with the world. Everything else just supports that, okay? So the perfect way to design the structure of that is using a mind map.
Yeah.
You put your central idea right in the middle of the page, and then you just go out into nature, or after a jog or something, you put yourself into a dark room, or like a well-lit room, actually, when you're writing, but just put yourself out in so you can just focus on your one central idea, and everything you know about it, you should just dump it out onto the page. It doesn't, no matter where you put it, just put everything you can relate to that idea on the mind map out in the page. Okay. Then the next step after that, if you spend a good hour or two putting that mind map together, it's time to build your outline. And either in that session or in the next day or later on, you take all of those ideas and start to put a rough idea of what a structure is. So take a big pad of sticky notes and write down each one of those ideas and some of the subtopics, if you have any, and just put them down on a piece of, on a little sticky note. And that is going to be the basis of your outline, because once you have them on sticky notes, you can rearrange them in the order that makes sense for you. Okay. So once you have those sticky notes all arranged and you have them ordered into chapters or however you want to structure your book, there's plenty of ways to do it. It's time for you to come up with a word target. And the word target is, okay, let's say you want the book to be something like shorter, or you want it to be more comprehensive. It's something that you should inherently know. And I will tell the audience that shorter books actually sell much better because the message is more compact and easier for people to read and thus recommend to other people. So I would highly recommend thinking about a shorter book or lots of images. In my case, I wanted to put lots of graphics in there. So that's why mine is a little bit longer.
Sure.
Anyways, once you have that, this is where the real magic, Vinney, comes in, right? Once you have your outline together and you have your word target, you take that word target and you divide it by the number of days that you want to finish writing your book in. So for me, it was 30 days. And I think for my word target was, I think 300,000 words or something like that, or 30, I can't remember exactly, I have to go look, but you take that number and you divide it, and then you come up with, you put a spreadsheet down and you literally put that word target in every single day. And for your 1 hour block of consistency every day, that's what you do, is you sit down, you write, you either type or you dictate into a microphone and then it records for you. But the point is, do not worry about being redundant. Don't worry about, saying the same thing over and over again or feeling like you're a broken record. Don't worry about that. Someone will edit it out. Your job is just to write. And don't edit yourself, because if you do that, you're going to start to go back and you're going to waste your time. Just keep writing. Your editor is going to do that for you. Okay. And once you do that, once you finish your count every day, you put it into the log. And then, if you do it right, and I'd be happy, Vinney, to share some of those tools with your audience if you would want to do that.
Love to.
I can share my mind map. I can share the outline that I had, and I can also share the spreadsheet that I used to help gauge the progress. And so, having all of that will basically allow you to see visually how close you are to finishing your book. And as long as you make that your thing for your time block every day, right? You're bound to hit your 30-day goal. And once you've written the book, then it goes off to editing and formatting and all that other stuff that happens downstream. But the major thing is finishing your manuscript and doing it right now. Don't wait a couple of years and do it a little bit at a time. Have a focused goal. That's why it's super important to do your mind map and then the outline and then the writing really in a really quick time frame. I would say a month or two is probably the biggest thing you should do. So get your mind map, do your outline while it's fresh in your head, and then right after that, move straight into writing and track all of your words. And then from there, it's just all editing and marketing and all that good stuff.
I love it. And, like you said, I think we all have a book in us, We
do.
I mean, that's so true, because we are so passionate about what we are living this life for and what's our purpose. And it could be in the work that we do or volunteer or anything or hobby, something. But I would highly recommend everybody to write a book, and you will love it. And I wrote this book for myself. I mean, the Apartment Syndication Made Easy, just to see, how I can gather my thoughts, and people, with the grace of God, people are really liking it.
Oh yeah.
I thought I'll sell 500 or so. My gosh, we are in thousands. I think we have hit 20 to 30,000 books now, and so on, and Kindle edition and all. And now the hardcover book is coming.
It's incredible.
Oh,
and you have multiple languages now as well.
Oh yeah, awesome. I have Spanish also. You're right. Spanish is there. I wanted to put it in Indian language too. I'm finding an editor who might be able to do it. I have about 200 5-star reviews in India now too, I heard. So that's been, no, I'm not bragging about, but no, it's been such a tremendous time hanging out with you.
You too, Vinney.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh,
We need to do this more often. I feel like we should be connecting at least once in a month.
Totally. And I would love to come on your podcast too. I came one time, I think, but we have so many new things happening, so many new nuggets and senior assisted living and all.
Yes.
Just let me know. I'd love to come. And then what do you do again? You're traveling and everything. What other things are you doing for fun?
Yeah. So for fun, it's mainly travel right now. And, just staying fit, cooking a lot. We love to cook here at home. And just planning out where we're going to be. I think, Vinney, we're going to be spending our spring in Japan. So we're going to figure it. So that's why we're so excited about all this. This is what's incredible about these 3 degrees of freedom, right? Like it's really incredible.
I love it. And all you need is internet and the laptop.
That's right.
And a speaker. I mean,
that's
microphone.
Right.
That's all.
That's all you need.
We went to actually Japan and South Korea. We went 2 years back, I think, with Neil and Monica and my wife. We loved it. I thought in Japan, I was in a different world. Literally. Right. I mean, it was just so impressive. The politeness and the cleanliness. Those 2 things come to my mind. And no tipping. I mean, nobody would take a dime.
And incredible food and hospitality. It's wonderful. It's such a great place. And the I don't mean to say this, but the public restrooms are often cleaner than some of the private ones here in the United States.
You're so right. And the garbage bins are not there for miles and miles. Actually, we went to one location, I don't know where it was, 5,000 people there, and maybe no garbage bins. I said, oh my gosh, because they want you to not, throw all these garbage and all and recycle and all and give it to the vendor. I think that's what I found out. Where you eat, you give it to the vendor and it's their responsibility, to dispose it off. But so great people.
And so much culture. It's incredible. I love it.
Oh, amazing.
I love it there.
I mean, the biggest thing was also transportation. I'm just kind of talking into the microphone, like bullet trains. I mean, how many countries have so many bullet trains and you have one bullet train every 15 minutes? Yeah. So they have so many bullet trains. And of course, it's a small country. They need that for speed and everything. But that was so interesting. I mean, you could actually just look at the clock and say in so many seconds, bullet train is going to come. And they refund your money if they're late. Oh my God.
That's incredible. Yeah. It's really great. And so we're really craving going back there. So we're definitely going to be doing that. And so we're planning all that. That's really what we've been focusing on a lot. And also, getting our syndication business, continuing to move the ball forward and doing deal analysis, and all that takes a lot of time. And so we're really just going to focus on enjoying our time that we've earned from leaving the W-2, but also really staying creative for our syndication and for Sophie's health business as well.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And please give her my best regards and congratulations to her new business and you living W-2 and really excelling in syndication and multifamily and all the great things. I'm so proud of you, really. Derek.
Thank you, Vinney. Yeah, and it's so great to have such a wonderful mentor. So for all of you guys that are out there, and you're wasting time if you're not talking with Vinney or Vinney's team. So please do that.
No, thank you again. And God bless you. I hope everybody enjoyed the episode today, guys. I hope you liked it. And please subscribe, share this content, and give us 5-star reviews on iTunes, and so that we can bring great guests. And if you think about some great personality that they would like to come on my show, or you would like to come, if you are listening to me and you're really crushing it in real estate business or any kind of facet or mindset, and you've written a book or anything, please reach out to me and my team. John at John Rusin, John at VinneyChopra.com or Ethan at VinneyChopra.com, and myself, Vinney at VinneyChopra.com, VINNEY, Vinney. And thank you so much, Derek. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for having me, Vinney. Yeah, this was great. I loved it.
Such a pleasure. See you next week. Please see you next time. Bye-bye.